As fishermen, peasants, and artisans, they left everything to follow their master. Witnesses to the resurrection of Jesus, they were called to spread the gospel around the world. However, their testimony was not without challenges. They faced persecutions and martyrdom due to their faith, sacrificing their lives out of love for Christ. Their deaths were not from natural causes. Each one is a striking testimony of their loyalty to the Master and the extreme cruelty that humanity can inflict on its fellow man. Curious about the fate of the 12 apostles? If you think they had common deaths, think again. Their lives and deaths are shrouded in mystery, controversy, and macabre narratives. In this video, I will explore all the details recorded in the Bible as well as information reported by the church and historians. Therefore, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, click the like button, and watch this video until the end. John, the beloved apostle, is a central and mysterious figure in biblical narratives. He was the son of Zebedee and Salome and brother to James, also an apostle. His story is marked by a unique closeness with Jesus, often described as the disciple whom Jesus loved. This special relationship gave John a unique insight into the events and teachings of Jesus. Known for his spiritual sensitivity and deep understanding, John was of extreme importance in transmitting Jesus' teachings. He was present at crucial moments such as the Transfiguration and the Last Supper, where he leaned next to the Master. After Jesus' death, John played a crucial role in the early Christian community in Jerusalem, witnessed Christ's ascension, and was a vital link among the apostles. However, John's fate is shrouded in mystery and symbolism. John suffered various persecutions, mainly directed by Emperor Domitian for preaching the gospel in Ephesus. According to tradition, John was captured, tortured, and then thrown into a cauldron of boiling oil. Nevertheless, God miraculously preserved his life, and he suffered no harm. In the face of this miracle, the emperor decreed that he be banished to the island of Patmos, which served as a prison for the empire. It should be noted that there is no biblical verse that can confirm or that we can use as a reference to affirm that John was thrown into hot oil before being taken to the island of Patmos. What we have in this case is only the tradition of the so-called Church Fathers affirming this, nothing more. The Church Fathers were zealous men who built the theology still used by the Church today. Many accounts and details about the deaths of the apostles were described by the Church Fathers and by Christian doctrine. Subsequently, John would have been exiled on the island of Patmos, where he received apocalyptic visions that compose and are recorded in the book of Revelation in the Bible. These revelations stand out. John's spiritual closeness revealed profound teachings about the future. According to Christian tradition, despite several attempts at execution by Roman authorities, John died of natural causes. This was attested by Bishop Polycrates of Ephesus as recorded by Eusebius of Caesarea in his ecclesiastical history. The Apostle John died in Ephesus, Asia Minor, in the year 100 AD, around the age of 94. However, it is said that the tomb was empty when it was opened by Constantine to be built upon. In his later years, wrapped in the wisdom acquired through decades of reflection and service, John became a pillar in the Christian community. His words, filled with spiritual depth, guided, corrected, and encouraged the faithful. His teachings, imbued with experiences alongside Christ, resonated with authority and love, strengthening the roots of the emerging faith. In his final days, the beloved apostle reflected on the tapestry of history he had witnessed, from the humble beginnings on the shores of the Sea of Galilee to the complex plots in Ephesus, where the church struggled to maintain its identity in an often hostile world. In every word he wrote, In every counsel he gave, John emphasized the heart of the gospel, the unconditional love of God manifested in Jesus Christ. He constantly reminded the community of the importance of remaining true to the truth while exhorting love and unity, echoing Jesus' own request for his followers to be one. John 17 verse 21. In the visions recorded in Revelation, John offered the church a perspective of hope and triumph even amidst persecutions and tribulations, pointing out the final victory of the Lamb, Jesus, over all forces of evil. These visions, full of symbolism, served as a source of encouragement for Christians throughout the centuries, reminding them that no matter how great the adversity, the final triumph belongs to God. In the twilight of his life, John left an immeasurable legacy, not only as one of the founding apostles of the church, but also as an example of faith, love, and perseverance. Through his writings and the life he lived, he continues to inspire countless generations, always pointing towards the redemptive and transformative love of Jesus Christ. James, known as the son of Zebedee, was present at the Transfiguration, the resurrection of Jairus' daughter, and the agonizing agony of Jesus in Gethsemane. His close relationship with John and with Christ himself highlights his prominent position among the apostles. His importance in the Bible is evidenced by being part of the inner circle of the three closest apostles to Jesus, along with Peter and John. These three witnessed exclusive miracles and teachings, revealing the special trust Jesus placed in them. However, after Jesus' death, James's path had a dramatic ending. In the Acts of the Apostles 12:1-2, it is recorded that Agrippa I of Judea, seeking to please the Jews, ordered the execution of James. King Herod laid hands on some of the church to mistreat them and killed James, brother of John, by the sword. The narrative does not provide detailed information about the exact method of execution, but tradition suggests that James was either beheaded or pierced by a sword. It is important to note that there are two apostles named James in the scriptures. James, son of Zebedee, who we already know, and James, son of Alphaeus, also known as James the Less. His active participation in the Gospels is relatively discreet and less evident compared to other apostles. After Jesus' death, information about the activities of James, son of Alphaeus, becomes even scarcer. Christian tradition, however, suggests that he also played a role in the expansion of the gospel, possibly engaging in missionary activities. As for the death of James the Less, the lack of specific details in the scriptures and the diversity of traditions make the narrative around his death a point of uncertainty. However, most of Christian doctrine believes that the son of Alphaeus also died by order of King Herod Agrippa I in Jerusalem, being beheaded in public. The image of James being beheaded is frequently found in paintings, sculptures, and other religious objects. Nevertheless, other sources like a first-century book called the Martyrdom of the Apostles claim that James was thrown from the pinnacle of the temple in Jerusalem and subsequently stoned to death. In first-century Jerusalem, the news of James's death, one of the pillars of the early church, resonated intensely through the alleys and markets. His martyrdom was not only a blow to the hearts of Jesus' followers, but also a clear sign of the growing tension between the young church and Jewish and Roman authorities. James's death was a defining moment, a turning point that reaffirmed the seriousness and cost of the Christian mission. In the community of believers, the loss of James provoked a mix of mourning and determination. Peter and the other apostles, now more aware of the imminent danger, strengthened in faith and resolved to continue the mission that Jesus had entrusted to them. James's death served as a painful but powerful reminder that the journey they had embarked on would require extreme sacrifices. However, James's death was not in vain. It inspired a new wave of evangelization and testimony among Christians. The church, although persecuted, began to expand beyond the borders of Jerusalem and Judea, reaching Samaria and eventually the edges of the Roman Empire. The message of the gospel, nurtured by the blood of the martyrs, found fertile ground in hearts thirsty for hope and truth. Meanwhile, James the Less continued his discreet but vital ministry. Although the scriptures provide few details about his later actions, church tradition suggests that he also played a significant role in spreading the faith. His quiet, persistent dedication contributed to the growth and strengthening of the Christian community during a period of uncertainties and challenges. The story of the two Jameses, each with his own path and destiny, became a source of inspiration for later generations of Christians. They represent the diversity of callings within the church. One called to a public role and a dramatic end, the other to a more silent but no less important contribution. Reflecting on the lives of the apostles James, son of Zebedee, and James the Less, we are reminded that the path of discipleship can take many forms. Each in his way embraced the call to follow Christ, whether in the public square facing the executioner's sword or in the discreet but essential shadows of faithful service. Their stories continue to resonate in the memory of the church, reminding all believers that regardless of the path we follow, we are called to live and testify our faith with courage, love, and unbreakable fidelity. Peter, originally known as Simon, was born in Bethsaida in Galilee. Peter was a fisherman by profession when he was called by Jesus to become a fisher of men. His name, initially Simon, was later changed to Peter, which means rock or stone, symbolizing the solidity of the faith he would show. Throughout the Gospels, Peter is portrayed as a fervent disciple, often impulsive but deeply dedicated to Jesus. He witnessed miracles such as walking on water and the transfiguration of Christ and made the first public confession of Jesus as the Messiah. His leadership among the apostles is evident, and Jesus declared Peter as the foundation upon which he would build his church. Matthew 16 verse 18. After Jesus' death and resurrection, Peter played a central role in the spread of Christianity, especially among the Jews. Peter's death is surrounded by intriguing and dramatic details. According to tradition, Peter faced various challenges and persecutions for preaching the gospel. Arrested by Roman authorities during Nero's reign, Peter was sentenced to death. Tradition holds that Peter was crucified upside down, as he considered himself unworthy to die in the same manner as his master. His crucifixion would have taken place in the Vatican Gardens, where today St. Peter's Basilica stands, making it a revered site for Christians around the world. It is worth noting that many details about Peter's death are recorded in apocryphal texts and by church historians such as Eusebius of Caesarea. Although these details are not found in the biblical canon, they are widely accepted by Christian tradition. Peter's martyrdom had a profound impact on the early Christian community. His unwavering faith, even in the face of death, served as an inspiring example for all those who faced persecution for their beliefs. Peter's legacy is also preserved in his writings. 2 epistles attributed to him are part of the New Testament and contain spiritual advice and encouragement for believers facing suffering and trials. These letters reflect Peter's heart as a shepherd, concerned with the well-being and faith of his fellow Christians. The memory of Peter, the rock upon which Jesus built his church, continues to inspire millions of Christians to this day. His life and death exemplify the ultimate sacrifice for the faith and the unshakable hope in the promise of eternal life. The 12 apostles were ordinary men chosen for an extraordinary mission. Their commitment to spreading the teachings of Jesus led them to distant lands and often to brutal deaths. Each apostle's story is a testament to their faith, courage, and dedication to the cause of Christ. Their legacy lives on in the hearts of believers and the foundation of the Christian Church. Reflecting on their lives and deaths, we are reminded of the cost of discipleship and the unwavering hope that sustains us through trials. Their stories continue to inspire and challenge us to live our faith boldly and share the love of Christ with the world.